The refugee protests outside the German parliament looked as forlorn as the hopes of the thousands of families across Germany wanting their loved ones to be reunited. Even before the vote inside the Bundestag, a deal had already been agreed in principle. The price of a new coalition government is tight new immigration controls.
For us in the CDU, it was important that we have a legal regulation for migrant family reunifications, and for the SPD it was important that family reunifications are possible in general. So here is our commitment.
What's called the right of reunification was suspended in 2016, meaning refugees who had reached Germany were prevented from bringing their immediate family to join them. Asma Zino was an experienced engineer in Syria before fleeing the war and reached Germany with her 2 sons. She tried 6 times to have her husband, who's also an engineer, join them all in Berlin. In the end, she succeeded through a refugee sponsorship scheme.
My husband was alone in Syria. It is very dangerous. We were apart for 2 years and my children had to grow up alone. But in the end, I had the chance through this wonderful organization that my husband was able to come. I think the law is impossible and inhumane, but I don't think you can tear families apart.
Rights campaigners say they're deeply concerned. The original ban on reunifications had been due to expire in March, and many families had made applications in anticipation of that date. Their hopes have now been dashed until late summer at the earliest. Plus, the figure of 1,000 a month is a maximum number. And in reality, depending on the criteria, the real figure could be much smaller.
There has been a huge and very ugly debate on numbers and guessing of how many persons will come. In fact, there are serious studies. They talk about 60,000 people who will come. Family is a right under human rights law. You can't tear families apart, and that's why we think it is one of the only legal and safe routes for refugees to come to a safe place.
The Bundestag vote appears to address the largest obstacle preventing a new coalition government being formed. But the debate over the use of quotas to regulate refugee numbers is far from over here. Brennan, Al Jazeera, Berlin.